And then I made Romantic Homicide, and it was so different than everything else I had made because it was actually sad. It was slow, it was sad, it was emotional.
The heat just got turned all the way up because what's unfolding right now is nothing short of a nightmare. A rising R&B star, a name that millions had come to know, has been caught on camera in what looks like a straight-up confession to murder. Not just whispers, not just internet speculation, but a filmed moment where David, yes, the same David who filled playlists and headlined festivals, appears to admit to killing a 15-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas. And the most haunting part? Her body was later discovered in his abandoned Tesla, dismembered, wrapped in plastic, rotting quietly while the world danced to his songs.
To TMZ, just last night, the office listed the victim's gender as female, a height of about 5'1" and 71 pounds. This person has wavy black hair, and she apparently has a tattoo on her right index finger that reads, "Shh." Apparently, she had been wearing a tube top, black leggings, had a metal stud earring, and a metal chain bracelet in the shape of a W. According to TMZ, though, to be more specific here, there is no definitive conclusion as to age.
It's the kind of story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about an artist, and it's left the music world shaken to its core. It all began when a track nobody was supposed to hear slipped through the cracks. On September 17th, 2025, the internet woke up to an unreleased demo with a chilling title, Celeste. At first, people thought it was another routine leak, just one more unfinished ballad floating out of a Dropbox folder. But this wasn't art. This was confession set to a melody. 2 minutes and 47 seconds of lyrics that seemed to foreshadow every detail of a murder long before the public knew her remains had been identified. He didn't just sing about obsession, he sang about Celeste by name, weaving imagery that aligned uncannily with what investigators would later find.
But authorities are treating this as a death investigation. A spokesperson for the singer, whose real name, by the way, is David Anthony Burke, said in a statement to NBC News that he, quote, has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. Now, we're going to talk about potential legal consequences here, but I have to say the singer may already be feeling the economic consequences.
Independent analysts pored over the file. The vocals, the mixing, the metadata, it all matched David's sessions. From December 2023, that's months before Celeste disappeared, which means this wasn't written after the tragedy. It was captured in a studio session before she vanished, like he had scripted it all in advance. The most eerie moment comes in the bridge, where the lyrics unravel mid-sentence only to cut into a long instrumental as though he realized he had already said too much. And it gets darker. The tattoo reference. He sang of Celeste having his name inked on her chest. Investigators later revealed she actually had a tattoo on her finger, the word shh etched into her skin. Months after her disappearance, David got the exact same tattoo. Whether it was a twisted tribute or a trophy, nobody knows. But fans can't shake the feeling that the ink was his way of keeping her close even after she was gone. Then there's the smell. He sang about carrying her scent on his clothes, like cigarettes. When employees at a Hollywood tow yard popped the frunk of his Tesla, that's exactly what they described. The stench of decay, overwhelming and foul, leaking from the vehicle that had sat abandoned for months. Inside, a duffel bag stuffed into the tight space, and within it Celeste's body, decomposed, dismembered, wrapped in plastic. Her clothing matched precisely what she was last seen wearing the night she vanished. Every lyric suddenly read like a blueprint. But the song was only the beginning. Soon after came screenshots and transcripts said to have been pulled straight from David's private Discord server, a hidden corner of the internet, where he spoke freely among a small group of loyal fans. The screenshots date back to the spring of 2024, just days after Celeste disappeared. The detail is horrifying because it aligns perfectly with what investigators later discovered. The frunk, the plastic, the location in the Hollywood Hills where the Tesla was left behind. And when another member in the chat warned, body disposal, risky AF, David allegedly replied, tour alibi covers me, send 1K each for silence. She's gone quiet forever now, like the song, Quiet Forever. The same phrase echoed in his hit Romantic Homicide. To see those words in a private chat about a missing teenage girl is enough to leave anyone chilled to the bone. And then came the phone call transcripts April 11th, 2024. It's chilling to hear because the medical examiner hasn't yet confirmed the cause of death, but strangulation remains one of the leading theories. And the plan he described matched reality point for point. The car was abandoned in the hills, later towed, later searched, and inside, just as he described, was Celeste's body. It wasn't just words, it wasn't just leaks, payment receipts started surfacing too. Screenshots of Venmo and Cash App transfers, thousands of dollars sent out with cryptic notes. For the Celeste thing, stay silent. If cops ask, you never met her. Made it look like she ran away. It painted a picture not of a panicked teenager making a mistake, but of someone orchestrating a cover-up with precision, arrogance, and the confidence that his fame would keep him safe. When the leaks hit social media, the world erupted. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForCeleste and #D4vLeaks exploded across TikTok and X. Videos syncing the leaked track with footage of the Tesla discovery racked up tens of millions of views. Fans who once worshipped him suddenly felt betrayed, violated, disgusted. The outrage wasn't just about the murder, it was about the betrayal. A teenager groomed from the age of 12, strung along until she was 15, then discarded like trash. And the artist they thought they knew, the voice that soundtracked their lives, had allegedly turned that horror into music. The theories came fast. Some were convinced it was premeditated murder, others clung to the idea of a frame job, pointing to David's tour alibi and the possibility of AI-generated fakes. A smaller group whispered that maybe it was an argument gone wrong, an accidental killing followed by a botched cover-up. But the court of public opinion, it had already delivered its verdict. It's easy to forget just how meteoric his rise was. David Anthony Burke, born in Queens and raised in Houston, recording tracks in his sister's closet, uploading them to SoundCloud, hoping someone might notice. He found his breakout with Romantic Homicide, the song that racked up billions of streams and catapulted him onto festival stages. By 20, he was living the dream: platinum records, sold-out tours, fans screaming his name. But in the shadows, another story was unfolding. A story of Discord messages, Snapchat secrets, grooming whispers, and a teenager's life that ended in the most brutal way imaginable. The nightmare came full circle on September 8, 2025. At first, it was just another routine day at a Los Angeles tow yard. Workers went about their business, cataloging cars that had been impounded, just like they did every other week, but then came the smell, foul, heavy, inescapable. The kind of stench that clings to the air and refuses to let go. It was seeping from the frunk of a Tesla, sitting quietly, almost innocently, among the rows of vehicles. When workers forced it open, what they discovered was not just disturbing, it was unspeakable. A black duffel bag. Ordinary on the outside, but inside lay a horror no one could have braced themselves for. The decomposed, dismembered remains of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, wrapped in plastic, hidden like discarded evidence of a nightmare that should never have existed. Her jewelry was still on her body. The same clothes she was last seen wearing clung to what was left of her. Every detail matched the description from the night she went missing, as though time itself had stopped when her life was taken. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner ruled it for what it was: homicide. And in that single ruling, everything shifted. Suddenly, every lyric David had written, every cryptic post, every leak, every whispered rumor took on a chilling new weight. Since that discovery, David, the man whose music once filled stadiums and playlists around the world, has vanished into silence. His last post came just days before the storm hit. Since then, nothing. No new words, no music, no presence. His team has scrambled to spin the chaos, releasing carefully worded statements that dismiss the connections as coincidental art twisted into lies. But no press release can drown out the silence. And sometimes silence is the loudest scream of all. The fallout was instant: concerts scrapped, sponsors gone, his name erased from projects he once defined. Online, the idol became a punchline, his empire crumbling in real time. By September 18th, he wasn't just disgraced, he was a person of interest in a homicide case. But this story isn't about fame or hits. It's about power, obsession, and how blurred lines between art and confession can turn fatal. A 15-year-old girl is gone, a family shattered, and David now stands as a chilling warning of how fame unchecked can destroy everything.